Today with our very last segment, UGA Most Wanted. We're coming after you. We have 4 names today, and at the top of our list, well, your list, 5-star running back Trey Sanders from IMG Academy in Florida. He's a Florida lean, but why is he at the top of your list?
Well, I mean, this is kind of like it's kind of a two-part thing. We identified 6 guys that we thought were maybe the top targets for Georgia in the class of 2019, and I think Trey Sanders for me would be 6th, working its way down. And another thing would be like, okay, this is the nation's #1 running back, Trey Sanders. He's a 5-star. Georgia's chances at getting another 5-star in the class aren't that bad. His older brother Olmstead walked on at Florida. There's the talk that he will end up with a scholarship after he earns it potentially over the summer and early fall camp during drills, and of course that will help things with Trey. But a lot of my sources, a lot of people I talk to, a lot of those sources are on the record. They're on Dog Nation the last couple of weeks. They say Georgia definitely has a big-time shot, and Trey Sanders told me himself that he feels good and great about everything at Georgia every time he's there. And even Jaden Hazelwood told me that he says he can see it in his eyes that he probably could be a dog.
Couple offensive tackles, 4-star OT Xavier Truss, 5-star OT Darnell Wright. Why are these 2 on your list of 6? And we're only going to get to 4 of them today. We're going to tease the other 2 for next week. But why are these 2 guys on your list? Yeah,
well, Georgia, I think was a huge priority in the class. They definitely need a couple of offensive tackles in the class of 2019. I think you look at me, Isaiah Wilson can hold down the right tackle. Hopefully that's what fans think. Cade Mays will push him. One of those 2 guys will probably win the job in fall camp. Then you got maybe DeMarcus Hayes backing up Andrew Thomas, kind of the cornerstone offensive lineman for Georgia now going forward with what he did last year as a freshman. And then you've got a guy, could it be a guy like Kendall Baker that's learning how to cross-train at multiple positions that frees up some room for a Jamari Salyer or a Trey Hill to get starting time and a lot of good reps early on for Georgia at one of those guard spots? That'll be an interesting camp storyline for sure, but what Georgia does need is a guy like Xavier Truss. I think he's the nation's #11 offensive tackle. 6'7", 350, just a huge giant of a man. He's already told Dog Nation and Cox Media Group that Georgia's definitely going to get an official visit. Retweets a lot of stuff. You see a lot of things from Xavier. And I love this picture right here, guys. He's actually next to a guy that's about 6'3" and about 320 pounds. Wow. And Xavier at 6'7", 350 just dwarfs him. So Mr. Truss is somebody that Georgia fans should think about. Darnell Wright's another guy as well. Alabama's on him too, but he's the nation's #1 offensive tackle out of West Virginia. Georgia has been to see him already, so that's going to be another guy. I think one of those 2 tackles, if Georgia winds up with one of those 2 dudes, or maybe I know how a lot of Georgia's fans are, they're like, oh, we got to get them both, got to get them all. But I do think Georgia, an ideal mock class or ideal eventual signing day for Georgia would include one of those 2 names in there at tackle. Of course, Warren McClendon is a guy down there in Brunswick to think about there as well. But on my board, in those kind of top 6 guys, I think you got to address another running back, and I think you got to address a tackle position.
Okay, and my favorite 5-star cornerback, Andrew Booth. I don't know why he's my favorite. I'm just going to pull a Nolan Smith in. We need DBs, Andrew Booth. Okay, what are his chances of being in the red and black, and when will he decide?
Well, I think he's going to decide right before his senior season. Hannah, he wants to get a little bit away from right before his senior season. He wants to worry about winning a ring. He doesn't want to have to worry about all this drama. He's a guy that doesn't get into all this recruiting drama at all. He's actually, get this, Hannah, he grew about 7 inches in his freshman year. He went from 5'5" to about 6 feet. 190 pounds. He just got reevaluated into the nation's #1 cornerback. He's a 5-star. Smart people that think they know everything about his recruiting often say Clemson is the leader. Auburn and Georgia are kind of jockeying with Tennessee to maybe be the team that pushes Clemson in the end. I think this is going to be a big summer for Andrew. I know Nolan Smith has prioritized him. Georgia just really recently got on him hard over the last maybe 5 or 6 months. Out of Archer High School in Gwinnett County. That's another guy that if he ends up going to Clemson, that would be another gut punch for Georgia when it comes to a 5-star corner going up to Clemson and leaving the chance to play between the hedges.